Hello, my name is Heather Logghe. I'm the Assistant Course Director for this class and soon-to-be first-year General Surgery resident at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. I'm here to talk to you today about how Twitter can be used as a professional tool. Now, you may wonder why I put Beyond Breakfast in the title, and that's because often when I talk to people about being on Twitter, they tell me that they're not interested in what someone had for breakfast. They're not interested in whether they had a bagel or a donut. And I think that they're shortchanging themselves because while it is possible to read what people are eating for breakfast on Twitter, there's also a lot more to Twitter and many opportunities. I'd like to share my own story. I actually met Dr. Omar Rivas, the director of this course, on Twitter. I was following the mobile health hashtag and I came across a tweet by him, and I saw that he was interested in many of the same things, such as surgery, medical education, and mobile health. I followed him, he followed me back, and I sent him a direct message, and I sent him a follow-up email, and we met in person. He told me about this class, and I told him I would love to get involved, and here I am. So you may wonder how Twitter can help you. As my story highlights, Twitter is powerful for networking. You can meet other leaders in your field and others who have similar interests. It's also a powerful tool for learning. Rich in information, you can keep up to date on things like mobile health and global health. I also find Twitter to be a rich source of motivation. I find it inspiring to read about others, and I hope that I inspire others as well. So how to get started? Whether you're already on Twitter or I just motivated you to get on, first start with your professional profile. So your picture. If you don't put a picture on Twitter, it will upload an egghead, and you don't want to be an egghead. Be yourself. Don't put a picture of your dog or your children. While they may be important to you, if you are using Twitter for professional purposes, it's important that you have a picture of yourself. Next is your bio. So in your bio, it's not as formal as a traditional CV. You can highlight your interests, you may put a few of your titles, and you may want to share your goals. This allows others to know what you might be tweeting about. It's also possible to be a little bit personable, so you may want to put a couple of your hobbies like running or cooking if you think you might have a few tweets about that. But remember that if this is your professional Twitter account, you don't want it to be dominated by your hobbies. Then what? So I recommend 3 major tactics in Twitter success. Those would be observation, sharing, and engagement. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about each one. Observation. So it takes some time to learn the ropes in Twitter. There is an etiquette, and by observing others, you can learn some of those small rules. So follow liberally in your area of interest. I recommend this because it's easy to unfollow if you don't enjoy someone's tweets. You can also follow hashtags that you're interested in. And if you're looking for which hashtags to follow, you can easily Google what your interests are, and there'll be articles recommending various hashtags. There's also resources like hashtags.org that explain what some hashtags are about. And then you may want to pay attention to successful tweeters and how they conduct themselves. And you can read articles on Twitter etiquette. I actually recommend following a couple that tweet under @tweetsmarter, and they post articles on how to be successful and the various rules and tips for success. You can also find a twenter, someone who's already on Twitter who volunteers to read your tweets and give you feedback from time to time. The next step is sharing, and I think that this is one of the most intimidating parts of Twitter for people. They're afraid that they need to be absolutely brilliant in 140 characters, but it can be as simple as starting with retweets. Find a tweet that you found interesting and just retweet it. There you go, that's your first tweet. You can also share articles that you found interesting and commentary on current events, or professional updates about yourself. Perhaps you're working on a project and you want to share various steps. And include hashtags in your tweets. So even if you're retweeting something, you can add the relevant hashtag like mobile health or health tech, and this allows people to see those tweets who may not already be following you. You can also share what you're learning. Perhaps you're taking a class and you learn something new, or you're attending a conference. There may be a conference hashtag that you can tweet under, and you can share quotes from that conference or other things that you learned. The next step is engagement, so actually engaging back and forth with others on Twitter. To begin, you could add a comment at the start of a retweet. Perhaps you just found it inspiring and you add that at the start. You can also share additional info in response to something that someone else shared. You can ask questions. You can also introduce yourself directly. So if someone is following you and you're following them and you want to engage in further conversation, you can do what I did with Dr. Rivas and send them a direct message and either exchange the email or arrange for another way to communicate with them. Also, tweet chats are a very powerful tool on Twitter. Tweet chats are usually a weekly event, usually about an hour, and they're a moderated live conversation. And they're done with a hashtag. You can use something like tweetchat.com to facilitate your participation. You can also Google easily which tweet chats are available that you may want to participate in. And you can attend a conference virtually. So there may be a conference you're interested in attending, but you're not able to. By following the conference hashtag, you can often learn endless information, and you could engage by responding to some of those tweets and asking for further information. So in summary, for success in Twitter and the professional world, obviously remember to be professional. Think about what you're putting out there and how others might perceive it, and be inquisitive through observing, sharing, and engaging. And most importantly, just get started. Thank you.